Hello, and welcome back to Infinite Jeff. Before I go on any further, I thought an interesting experiment to do would be to just hear the difference between where before I remove the background noise and compress the audio, and then after. So everything up till this point, at least, has been this is just how it's recorded. So I'm going to say two phrases and back to back, try to emulate them, make them the same, and we will listen to the difference between the two of them. Infinite Jeff. Infinite Jeff. Alright, so it's about 49 seconds there. You have to remember that. So I'm now, everything after, the second one on is after I process the audio, and remove the background noise and compressed it. Compression is where you basically make the softer noises louder and the louder noises softer so that there's less dynamic range, which is really good for dialogue. I don't like when music is too compressed, but dialogue, it's a trick I learned. I don't know if it's a trick, but the thing I learned to do really quickly was to compress your, just vocals, just speaking vocals, because it just makes it a lot clearer, a lot more consistent. So, we're on to Infinite Jeff, is a project where I read Infinite Jest to you, internet folks. One page at a time, one day at a time, put it on YouTube. Infinite Jest is a book by David Foster Wallace, published 1996. And, yeah, so page 54 of Infinite Jest. Let's go. Serious money event. And so they're morose and low on morale and feel bad about themselves, often, as a rule. And so also not all that surprisingly tend to get high now and then themselves, though in a less covert or exuberant fashion than the hardcore's students' chemical cadre. But so given all this, it's not hard to see why internal drug enforcement at ETA tends to be flaccid. The other nice thing about the pump room is the way it's connected by tunnel to the prorector's rows of housing units, which means men's rooms, which means Hal can crawl, hunch, and tiptoe into an unoccupied men's room and brush his teeth and with his portable Oral-B and wash his face and apply eye drops and Old Spice and a plug of wintergreen Kodiak, and then saunter back to the sauna arena and ascend to the ground level looking and smelling right as rain, because when he gets high, he develops a powerful obsession with having nobody, not even the neurochemical cadre, know he's high. This obsession is almost irresistible in its force. The amount of organization and toiletry lugging he has to do to get secretly high in front of a subterranean outtake vent in this pre-supper gap would make a lesser man quail. Hale has no idea why this is, or whence, this obsession with the secrecy of it. He broods on it abstractly sometimes when high, this no one must know thing. It's not fear per se, fear of discovery. Beyond that, it all gets too abstract and twined up to lead to anything, Hal's brooding. Like most North Americans of his generation, Hal tends to know way less about why he feels certain ways about the objects and pursuits he's devoted to than he does about the objects and pursuits themselves. It's hard to say for sure whether this is even exceptionally bad, this tendency. And then we have a section break. At 0:15 hours, 0:15 hours, 2nd of April, the medical attaché's wife is just leaving the Mount Auburn Total Fitness Center, having played 5-6 game pro sets in her little Mideast diplomatic wife tennis circle's weekly round robin, then hung around in the special Silver Key members lounge with the other ladies, unwrapping her face and hair, and playing Nargies? Footnote 11. Maybe I missed 10 in there somewhere. Sorry. And all smoking kiff and making extremely delicate and oblique fun of their husband's sexual idiosyncrasies, laughing softly with their hands over their mouths. The medical attaché at their apartment is still viewing the unlabeled cartridge, which he has rewound to the beginning several times and then configured for a recursive loop. He sits there, Is it recursive, or is it just a loop? Anyway, he sits there attached to a congealed supper, watching at 120 hours, having now wet his pants and the special recliner. Section break. 18 in May, Mario Incandenza's designated function around Enfield Tennis Academy is filmic. Sometime during AM drills or PM matches, we'll see what Mario does next time. That was page 54 of Infinite. Jeff. Good night.